Hi friends, it's Angela with Wild Violets Art. Thank you so much for joining me tonight for my Marvelous Monday Facebook Live. I've got some really cute gift bags for you for that last minute holiday crunch, and the best part is both bags only take one piece of 12 by 12 cardstock. So I'm using the A Little Bit Festive Specialty Designer Series paper, and it's actually three double-sided pieces of cardstock, a bunch of card fronts, or they can be box fronts, whatever you want them to be. And also, there are some ephemera pieces or some die cut pieces that are ready to be used. So I noticed that they matched a little bit with the ephemera packs. There's a lot of similarities, but the designer series paper are really fun. So let's get started. Okay, um, so this little bag is a no-cut bag, and it measures 4¼ by 4¼ by 4¼ which means it's a really good size for a gift. So if you had, let's say, a spa body scrub and a spa body butter, look at that, how well they fit in there. And then you still have room for tissue paper. And then for this cute little bag, this one does take a little bit of cutting and some scoring, but it measures, 2 7/8 by 2 7/8, and it is 7 inches high, or almost 7 inches high. So it's a really good size for, let's say, a tall candle or even a couple of lotions. And you can see that there is still room for tissue paper in there. So I think that for us ladies, lotions, or even for the guy in your life, those can be really nice gifts, and there's lots of room. So let me show you how to make this one first. This one's a really easy one, and it's really fun. Just a nice big size. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to get out your cardstock. Or let me just show you real briefly the A Little Bit Festive papers. Okay, so it comes with three 12 by 12 pieces of cardstock, and this is the other side. There's this one, and that's the other side. And then there is the blue check with this as the other side. And then this is some really nice card fronts. And then you can see there's all these die cut pieces. And I'm sorry that my camera is not being very kind. It's really blurry. And then here's some more. And the best part is these are all, they have gold foil on many of them. Okay, so there's lots and lots of choices for you to make. Now I want to use this blue check cardstock instead of the red stripe, because I think it's just a really fun, festive look, a little unusual, but I think it's got some really cute looks to it. Okay, so I'm going to turn it over because I'm going to be using the other side. So the way we're going to do this is you want to measure diagonally 4¼ from each corner. Okay, so I am going to go 4¼ and I'm going to mark it nice and dark. And then 4¼ I want to make sure that I can see it. And then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to do a 4¼ and 4¼ Just make sure I've got it in the middle. So 4¼ here and 4¼ here. Make sure I can see these dots. Okay. So what you want to do is you want to fold this corner to that dot. I'm going to use a bone folder, and you're going to do that all the way around. So I'm going to go right directly to that dot. I found this on the internet, so you could probably find it also, but I love that there's no cutting. It's just okay. And once you've done that, then you're going to take this corner and you're going to go up to the dot up here. Okay. And you just keep going around all four sides. Okay. And then what it does is it creates this fun box like so, or bag. It's a gift bag. Okay. The reason I was thinking box is because I was thinking this would also make a really fun box. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that these two corners match up, and then I'm going to come in and I'm just going to score that piece. So this is really busy paper, so I apologize if it's a little hard to see. But an easier way to do it would be for you to put it on its side, and then you can score it on the inside. But you want to make sure that your corners line up nicely. Okay? And you're just going to keep doing that to all four sides. Okay. Okay, so once you have all four sides nice and tight, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to start adhering these flaps down. So you can just use tearing tape. And I'm just going to use a little bit of tearing tape to get this flap to go down. And I'm going to do that on all four flaps. So just so you have an idea of what this looks like, I made a diagram so that you could see where these folds are, because it's kind of hard to see on this busy paper. So you can see this is the little X is at 4 1/4. And then I folded these corners, all four of them, to here. Looks like I missed a spot. I'm putting my little dashed lines. So the first thing I did is I folded all four of these in, and then I took this corner and folded it up to there, and this corner and folded it up to there, this corner folded it up to there, this corner folded it up to there. So that's what this looks like. And I can't give you these diagrams other than that 4 1/4, because it only really works if you're folding it. And it was a lot of work to try to get the diagram for you. Okay. I'm hoping that you had a nice weekend. My husband is home and feeling much better. In fact, he's even driven himself a couple times. And he just had surgery on Thursday to remove his kidney because he had cancer in his kidney. Okay, so going back up to this bag. So now I want to adhere all of these flaps to one side. So these two flaps to this side, and then I will adhere both of these flaps. So let me just show you how I did that. So I am going to first adhere both of these to the inside. So I'm going to put some tear and tape on the inside, right where these are going to fold down. Okay. I'm going to put tear and tape again in the same place, but on the outside, and then that will get this to fold down and stay. Okay. So in the same places, just so you can see what I'm talking about. And then these two sides will adhere to that tear and tape. Or you can use double stick tape, whatever works best for you. So now you can see this is all put together so that it's not going to come apart. Now I'm going to do the same thing to this side. Okay. Okay. And then two more pieces. So I put tape here, and I'm going to just squeeze it together. So now it stays in place. Okay. So now what I want to do is I want to squeeze this together because this is what my bag is going to look like. Okay. So I'm not going to necessarily squeeze it together like this, but you could. I had some pretty large things in here, so I think it would fit a really big candle, or like I showed you, the two body butter and body scrub. So this is like 4¼ by 4¼ by 4¼ so it fits a really nice big gift. But you could make it so that it closed, but then you could see that it'd be a much smaller space, which is fine for something smaller, but it still is really fun. Okay, so I'm going to squeeze this together just so that I can get my pieces to line up. And then what I'm going to do is I am going to punch holes in it. Okay, so let me mark it up so I can get it in the right place. I do like to try to make sure I get it somewhere in the same place. Okay. So what I've done is I've marked, and I'm going to punch it out with this is a like a 3/8 inch punch. So you don't want it to be much bigger than that. I think a 1/4 inch is just too big for most ribbons. So whatever hole punch you have, this is a lot bigger than the job needs to be. But one of the things I love about this is it will take care of really big, big, thick areas. Okay. All right, so now you can just get, like I'm using the frayed grosgrain ribbon, and I am just going to use, I think that probably 10 inches was a little too long. So you can see how long it was for this. And I think that 10 inches is a little long, so I'm going to do 8 inches instead. And then you may want to use something to just help you poke it through. And then I'm going to just make knots on the inside. Thing about the frayed ribbon is it frays really, really easy. So. And I just want the knot to be right there at the end. Okay, so yeah, I think 8 inches is probably sufficient. So you can see I just twisted around my finger so that I'm able to make a knot. And depending on the size of your ribbon, you may need to make 2 knots, which means wrap it around twice, and it'll make your knot a little thicker. So this is sufficient for what I'm trying to do. Okay. All right, so you can see my little bag here. Okay, so now I'm going to decorate it. Now this was really cute because these were pieces from a little bit festive. And so I'm going to find some things that are cute with the blue. And actually, I think this little truck is really sweet. And see if we want him to be carrying anything else. That we could put on there. There's also this cute little garland if you want to do that instead. But actually, I think this is really cute. Okay, so I'm just going to adhere this with some dimensionals. And then I need a tag. So this is where I go back to my ephemera packs that I showed you last week, the Joyful Images ephemera packs. So I'm going to pick out a tag that would look fun with this. And I think this one right here is great. And really, I don't need to decorate it at all, but I could. And here's this one. It says Holiday Wishes, and I think it would fit on there just fine. All right, so now I just need a bow. So I'll use, I think, about 10 inches. And I'm going to need to use one of my pliers. Okay. All right. And there's my little gift box. Isn't that cute? So it's just perfect size for something small. And this is great for a guy. This is good for a child or for any friend. Okay, so that's that. And now let me show you. I mean, that is just one gift bag that just took a few minutes. So you can see how easy that is. Okay, so now for this gift bag. So this one is taller, and this is 2 7/8 on all four sides. And you'll need to be able to score this in order to make this bag. So what I'm going to be using is I'm going to be using my scoring tool, and you can see that this is the pattern of what it looks like. Okay, so each one of the scores is at 2 7/8, because otherwise if you do 3-inch, 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 you don't end up with the little half-inch that you need at the end to get it to connect. Okay, so you can see this is 2 7/8, and then I fold it over the top, and I folded 2 inches. You don't need to fold over that much. And then the bottom is 2 7/8 as well. That way the flap covers the entire bottom. So it works really nicely for that. Okay, so for this one, let's do the striped paper. I think it's so festive. It's really fun. And we'll do it so that it's up and down like this. Okay? All right, so I've got it clear over to the left as far as I can. Now, because the designer series paper is a little thinner, you want to use the stylus that has the bigger end. Okay? And I have these set up at 2 7/8. And I had somebody make some extras because they only give you 3. And then I'm going to score it at 2 7/8 at the bottom. And then I'm going to score it at 10 inches, and this will be the top. Okay, so you can see it's just really fun. It'll be a nice fun bag. All right, now bringing this guide back so you can see that I probably should have turned it around the other way because now my fur is upside down, and as is my ornaments as well. Okay, so I'm going to now score it at all of the score marks. Okay. This is where it gets connected to itself. Okay, and then I'm going to fold it at the bottom as well. So if you're coming in part way, I have made little no-cut bag, which is 4 1/4 by 4 1/4, and now I'm making one that is 2 7/8 by 2 7/8 by 7 inches tall. So it's a really nice size bag. Okay, so now let's line it up so that you can see my guide here. Okay, so I'm going to be cutting. This will be my bottom flap. So the third one over, I don't want to trim it at an angle. I am just going to be trimming these ones at an angle so that when it all folds up, they don't overlap. Okay, so I'm going to go straight up along the score mark, and then this one at an angle, and then this one at an angle, clear up to the base score mark. Okay, it's probably a little hard to see, but you can see that I went all the way up to the score mark. So this one, again, this is my bottom flap, the very last flap. So I'm going to want this one to stay straight. And then this one is going to be tucked under, and so it's at an angle. And then this one is at an angle. And when I post this on my blog, I will have this, a picture of this on my blog so you can see what the diagram looks like. Okay. Now at the end, you can see that I'm going to get rid of quite a bit. So I'm going to cut this one at an angle up to this corner, and then I'm going to cut at an angle over. Okay. All right. So now the best way to start is by folding over your top. So this is your bag top. And then I'm going to fold them both over so that it meets in the middle. Okay. So the first thing I want to do is I want to put some glue underneath my flap and then on top of my flap. That way, when it's all put together, it stays nice and flat. Okay, so this little bit needs some glue as well. Okay, and I'm making sure the top lines up. But when I'm done gluing it, you can see it's going to make this nice square. Okay, all right, then turning it over again. This is going to be my front of my bag. Okay, so this will be the last one that goes in. So I'm going to do both of these, and you can put a little glue in between each one if you want. And then I'm going to make sure it's as straight as possible. And then I'm putting the flap down. Now, if you want, you can put something heavy inside to get it to all adhere. Okay. All right. So this is my front. And so I'm going to pinch these in and line them up. And then I'm going to push it out and pinch it again in order to mark where I'm going to punch my holes. And I'm going to punch all 4 at the same time. If you have one of these nice big crocodile things, it makes it really easy. So I'm going to make sure this all lines up. And then I'm going to get my marker and I'm going to mark where I want this punched, and I don't want to go very far. And okay, so making sure the front and the back fold lines line up. Then I can come in and with the smaller hole, I can punch all two of them at the same time. Okay, so now I've got some nice holes here, and so I can thread my ribbon. So again, I probably only need about 8 inches. A couple times. And then I'm just looping it around my finger. And if you have trouble with your fingers, these little tweezers really help. So you can see how quickly I was able to pull that through. You can trim off any excess so it doesn't look so frayed on the inside. So this is a nice length. And we'll do this again on the other side. Love this ribbon, but it does definitely fray at the ends a lot. So it can be kind of tough to thread through. All right. We're almost done. We get to decorate it. Fun thing about these gifts or these little bags is they are so easy, and if you've got extra cardstock from last year that you never used, it's a great way to use it. Okay, so now let's decorate it. Let's put these other bags here so you can see how cute they are. All right, so this one's fun. So let's put something fun on the front. So I'm thinking that these really pretty gold foil gifts would be cute. And then actually, I'm going to use this again. So, or I could even use this pretty wreath. So it's got a place where I can write on it. And let's find that bow again. That bow is really fun. All these pieces came from this ephemera pack. Isn't that fun? All right, so let me punch a hole in the top of this so that I'm able to add some string, and just going to add a couple of pieces to hold it in place. All these gifts are going to have to survive kittens. So our kitties like to get under the tree. He has claimed it. So this year when we put our tree up, we decided to not put decorations. We have just its colors, lights that flicker if we want them to. I think right now they're just a steady color, but with all the color, it's enough when we've got this little tiger that can't seem to keep his teeth off of things. So, all right. So I'm just going to use a little bit of this real red and white baker's twine. And I just need about 10 inches again. And remember the notch that I put in last week? I used my scissors and just cut a notch so that I could get my baker's twine to stay and not unravel when I'm not using it. Okay. So I'm just threading it through, loop, and I can tie a little bow to hold this onto the gift bag. This gift bag's a little bit too small for a big bow, so instead of doing a bow like I did with the other gift bag, I'm just doing a little baker's twine bow. Okay, so I've got room for all kinds of goodies, great bags. Hopefully you enjoyed this as much as I did. I just wanted to show you that this kit also makes great cards. So you can see that I used the same wreath as I did here, but a different bow. And then from the Joyful Sayings, I was able to use the sayings for, and then a little bit of bling. So you can see how pretty that is. And these are note cards. These are the basic white note cards. And then I used one of the card fronts from this kit, used a sentiment, and then I had another little gingerbread, so I popped it up, gave it a little bit of 3D. You can see here that the bow and the sentiment are popped up on this card. And then this is just some basic white A2 card size. And I used some of the gold foil sentiments from the Joyful Sayings ephemera pack, but this pretty gold foil sled and the star are from a little bit Festive, and then I did a little bit of bling. The tree is also from a little bit Festive. So this one here, again, it's one of the frames from the pack. And then again, the sentiment is from the Joyful Sayings, but this and the frame are all from a little bit Festive. And then I added a little bit of bling. So you can see the gold foil in here and here. It just matches. So nice. And then this is another one of the card fronts from the kit. And then I got this sentiment from Joyful Sayings, this little piece. And then this is a 3D set of these same gold foil ornaments. So I just made it so that it popped up and was 3D. So you can see that I popped that up just to give a little more dimension to my Christmas card. And again, when I layered it with, this is Pool Party that I layered it with. So it's 4 inches by 5 1/4. So it layers really nicely. So this is a real red, 4 inches by 5 1/4. And then this card front just lays right on top of it. And then this one, I added a star from the Little Bit Festive, and there was already a star there, but I wanted it to be 3D. And then my little sentiment that says sending cheer, and then my little gift packages that are gold foil ribboned and polka dotted as well. So you can see there are some ornaments here, and then I put a little bit of bling. So lots of fun stuff from this. 2 gift bags, all these cards didn't take very long. So it's a great way for you to get your last minute Christmas needs done. So thank you so much for joining me. If you're watching this later on YouTube, I'm Angela with Wild Violets Art. And feel free to visit my blog. I'll have instructions with the diagrams for both these bags and step-by-step instructions. Thank you so much, and I'll talk to you soon. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like and share with your friend and subscribe.